Hello everybody and welcome back to Robert's Reviews. Today is Friday, and on Friday we do requests. So basically how that works is you can drop it in the comments below, or you can go to the Facebook group, which is in the description below. If you join the Facebook group, you can post it on there or comment on one of my videos, whatever you'd like to do. But whenever it is, whenever I see it, I will add it to a Google Doc, and then I will add it to my calendar for next year. I am blocked up for this year. So I apologize for that, but next year we'll be going back to adding some more. So this year I've got so many, I literally filled up the entire calendar that I have. Every single Friday is a different request. But I promise if you comment on the videos, I will add it to the Google Doc, which I will then add to my 2022 calendar. So if you want that to happen, comment below what I should watch, okay, and I will review it. But somebody, and I don't remember who, so I apologize, thank you to whoever it was, somebody requested that I watch Snatch. So today we are going to be talking about Snatch. Snatch was released in 2000, and it was written and directed by Guy Ritchie. And no spoilers, but essentially what this movie is about is it is about a diamond. And everyone seems to want this diamond because it's worth a lot of money, but then they have kind of a bunch of side plots that don't really work, if I'm being quite honest with you, of just kind of really weird crime that doesn't quite work. And it is a very funny film. I will start with that. It is a very, very fun film. It is so funny. I mean, I don't laugh out loud very often when I'm watching films because I'm watching them here on my TV, which, granted, is a big TV and it feels like a movie theater. But, like, when you're in a movie theater and you're watching with other people, laughing just, like, adds to the atmosphere. But when you're by yourself and you're sitting on a bed and you're watching a movie, I feel like it just doesn't quite add a whole lot. So I feel like I'm not compelled to laugh as much as I am in a movie theater. But this movie made me laugh out loud so many times. I mean, like, I literally just sit here like, it's great, it's funny. And I really appreciate what it was able to make me feel, right? Which is a bunch of laughter in my heart. And I haven't felt like laughing in a while, so it felt really good to just kind of like, and just like let the laughter flow. And it felt so good. So I appreciate to whoever requested I watch this movie, I appreciate you. This movie's freaking hilarious. I will mention that it is dark humor, because it is British, and British humor is not for everybody, so if you don't like kind of dark humor or very dry humor, you're not going to like it. I love that kind of thing. I mean, I love The Office. That's when I'm drinking my coffee. And The Office is very similar, and like it's got kind of got dry humor where like there's not really a lot of laughing. There's not really a reason to laugh, but you laugh anyway because you love it and it's funny. So cheers to The Office and cheers to Snatch. Kings of dark comedy. Excuse me. But as funny as the movie is, it is kind of outrageous. Okay, and that is kind of the issue that I have here. Is the issue? It's not even like a huge issue, but I feel like this movie could have been more solid in terms of what it really wanted to be, more so than just a comedy. This movie could have been a very good comedy thriller, comedy action, but instead it was just kind of a weird comedy, and it worked for a comedy. But it is still grounded in real life, right? Like, you see a lot of comedies these days that are like, it's a comedy, but, you know, it's like Spaceballs or whatever, where it's like in space, and like, you know, it's more of a parody than anything else, right? Whereas this movie is just a straight comedy. And I feel like if you really wanted to do that, you would make it a little bit more realistic for the viewers. But it was funny nonetheless, and I think that it worked, surprisingly. It surprisingly did work. Though another issue that I have with this movie is the side plots that don't quite merge. There's a lot of really weird side plots that at the end kind of make sense, but also is a really big diversion for not really a big reason. Like, this is one scene that I loved. It was absolutely hilarious, and it takes place in a robbery. So these two people are robbing the place, and it's hilarious. It is so funny because everything goes wrong, and they end up getting locked in there by themselves. And like, okay, well, this didn't go very well. It's hilarious, but like, it really didn't matter all that much. There are ways you could go around not doing it. And the movie's reasonably length, so I'm not complaining about it too much, but I just think that there are other examples. That was just one that I thought of that exemplify the idea that maybe it's a little ridiculous and the side plots don't necessarily have to happen. The main character of this film is kind of complicated. I'm only going to talk about one actor here, really, but there are a couple main characters that I think were good, and I'm not going to mention them because I think they're totally fine. But there's one that I think absolutely stood out, and that was Brad Pitt as Mickey O'Neill. And he is a wonderful little character, and essentially he lives in like a trailer park, and they're kind of looked down upon because they don't really like those kind of people. And what happens is he is suddenly very good at boxing. And in this town that they're living in, like, they love to bet on boxing. So, like, they try to rig all the matches and stuff. And Mickey O'Neill is, like, a one-punch man. He'll be like, boom, and they'll die. And it's great. It's freaking hilarious. But the most important and funny part about this is Brad Pitt's accent, which was described in the movie as, like, this weird mix of Irish and British and really weird words. And, like, not only could the audience not understand it, but, like, the people watching, like, the people in the film didn't understand it either. And it was freaking hilarious. I was very impressed with how it worked. He'd be like, oh, like, and, like, I'd be like, did anybody understand that? And they'd be like, no. And they're like, cool. And then that was just the whole thing. And that was really funny. And I do credit Brad Pitt here for everything he's doing in this film. I mean, it is so funny. And he's very athletic looking, and he's very, like, ready to go. And it's one of my favorite Brad Pitt roles I've ever seen him in. I was really happy with it. I don't think he got a whole lot of screen time in comparison to other people. But he is kind of the main character. He's the main central point of the actual plot. But I just wanted to mention that I think he was absolutely, absolutely wonderful in this film. I also want to mention that Benicio del Toro was in here, and I think he was really good. He had, like, almost no screen time. But for the time that he was on the screen, I did really like him. I think they did a bad job marketing this film, because I was watching the trailer, as I do for everything, because I like to watch the trailer to just kind of get into the mood, and also to understand what it was like to market this film. I am a marketing major, partially. It is one of my majors. I'm also a media studies major. But I am curious to see how they marketed it, and they kind of marketed it as, like, a Benicio del Toro movie, and he really wasn't, because he was, like, barely in the film, like, literally barely in the film. But when he was in the film, I think he was very, very good, so I do appreciate the work that was put in for his character here. But overall, I mean, it is a very funny comedy movie. It is a very, very funny comedy movie. It's one of my favorite comedy movies all of a sudden. Like, it just, boom. That being said, I don't think it's that good. It's this weird thing where, like, they can be really funny and really enjoyable, but also not a very good movie. And so I'm going to have to go ahead and give Snatch an A-. Definitely one you want to check out if you get the chance. I watched it on Showtime, but I'm pretty confident it's leaving Showtime, so I don't know where it'll go after that, but I'm sure you can find it online somewhere. It's very, very much worth a watch. It is very funny, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. What do you guys think of Snatch? Have anybody seen it? If you've not seen it, have you heard of it? What have you heard about it? Let me know in the comments below. I want to know. I love conversations in the comments. It's like my favorite thing about YouTube. So make sure you're doing that. Make sure you guys are subscribing, because once I hit 150 subscribers, I'm going to dress up like Spider-Man, and I'm going to go to Walmart, and I'm sure y'all want to see that. So make sure you guys are doing that, and I want to entertain you guys, so anything you guys want for requests, drop in the comments below. Make sure you guys are liking the video, sharing with your friends, and as always, keep watching movies and television, stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.